Welcome to Framework Fortune and welcome back Framework Fortune community. I'm your host Ben and we're going to jump into ThinkorSwim and I'm going to show you how to set up your ThinkorSwim for the new day trading setup that I have now with the new strategy and how to use that new strategy, as well as show you guys how to set up the new scanners. Time is our most valuable asset, so let's not waste any more and jump right in. When you open your ThinkorSwim for the first time, you may have something that looks like this. Don't worry about that. Just ignore it. Go over and click Charts right here at the top. And you'll get this kind of blank page we got going on here. So right up here at the top, you can see Show Grid. I know my screen's a little cut off, but it's right here below On Demand. And it's just this little box of squares or circles or something. So we want to go to Customize Grid. Now once we do that, we can set this up a little bit more customized, just like the name. We've got the sidebars on there. You want those checked because we're going to be using those sidebars, so don't uncheck them. Now you can delete one of these things or you can add to it, and depending on where you click, it'll add it to the bottom or it'll add it to the side. So we don't want this many of these things, so let's cut that there. So you got to link your charts and everything else if you want to be able to click easily between stocks. See, if I click over here on the side, the charts and the news change. So if you don't have your news linked, make sure your news is linked. You don't want to be trying to day trade and getting Apple news for some low flow penny stock. So you just go to that little number, or if it's not linked yet, it'll say unlink and have a little ugly half square, like a broken square, and you just change that right there. So now that we got these linked, to get that setup that we had, we're going to need to add a couple of things. So I have the trade at the top of this chart. Below this chart, we have another chart, right? Now on this side, so we want to link this chart, and it's linked. I've got my time and sales and level 2 on this side, so we're just going to change this. Click time and sales. If you can't see it on my screen, it's the same as these little buttons here on these charts. They'll be over here off to the right, and you just click TS for time and sales. So that's got our time and sales on there. And then we want to take off the chart, so we click off the chart. See, that's a C, so we click it off, but we're going to click it off over here. We got time and sales on there, and then we got level 2. So we want to go back up to this little place, the little square of circles or squares, turn off Customize Grid now, and we've kind of got the setup almost already done. So we want to grab this and drag this over. We don't want it quite as big as it is for the level 2 and time and sales. We want to be able to see our charts. And now that we've got the time and sales and level 2 set up, because it's linked to all these, it will be to whatever stock you put in. Now we are going to make our charts look good. So right now these charts look like hell. So this top chart is my 5-minute chart for the new strategy. So it's a 5-day 5-minute. So we'll go ahead and change it to that just so we have the chart ready. And then we're going to go into this little button here, this little gear icon. This is the chart settings. This is going to give us a lot of the things that we're going to need. So I'm not going to go through everything because a lot of this stuff doesn't really matter that much. It's just personal preferences on some things, but we do want Show Studies on, and you can click the highlight, so when you hover over a study, it will show you what it is. A study is going to be your moving averages, VWAP, any type of indicators like that. But we're going to come down here and we want to turn the volume off of overlap. When you do that, you press apply, and now you can see the volume is down here instead of up here in the chart. Now we're going to do the same thing to this chart, but we're going to save how we did everything up here and then be able to apply it to this chart so we don't have to go through all these steps once again. But we're going to go back to the gear icon. We'll go to appearance. Now we want these candles to be green, so we're going to pop them green. We want them filled. If it doesn't say candle, change it to candle. The cursor, you can actually change that. On the bar, you don't even have to change it from here. But we do want to change the volume bars. Right here it says volume bars, color as symbol ticks. So we want them to be green and red, so we know if it's more buying volume or if it's more selling volume. Now there's this little grid thing here in the background. I don't like that, so I'm going to take that off. And then I'll apply that. And now we've got a nice clean chart, no grids. These gray boxes we do want to keep, these highlighted areas, because that's your after hours and pre-market. But now let's add our studies. So to add a study to this, we just click study. And we go to edit study. So we're going to add several different studies. The first one we're going to add is exponential moving average. So you can put in XPO and it'll come up, or you can put in MOV average, either one. Just double click on it and it'll pop over here. And we'll double click on it again. We'll go to length and we're going to add our 200-day moving average. I like mine to be red, so we'll press OK. And if we apply that, you can see it added the 200-day moving average here on the 5-minute chart. So we're going to add in our other moving averages. We do have one more exponential moving average, so we'll go back to exponential. This is going to be the 10 days. Some people use the 9, some people use the 12, some people use the 21. When I was customizing working on the strategy, the 10 days seemed to work the best, and I may change it. I may experiment some more with the numbers a little bit, but as for now, we're going to leave it as the 10. And we're going to go green with that one. And then we are going to add 2 EMAs that I've never used before until now with this strategy. And we're going to go to DEMA. So you got to put in DEM and that'll pop right up. We're going to click on the DEMA. Now the DEMA is a double exponential moving average study. So that means because a regular exponential moving average is weighted, the double is going to be twice as weighted. This one we're going to change to the 40-day. I know it sounds weird, but the way it acts with this, it works very good, and we're going to make it purple. That's the purple line we've talked about. Now we're going to add the last one, and this is adaptive. There's a whole different EMA. Now this one I don't exactly know what it is, other than it seems to be a more accurate EMA than any of the others. And this is the gray one. And this one is a 10 as well. So we're going to leave it there at 10 and we're going to press apply. And boom, now we've got our little setup here. Now if you need to change any of your tools, right here this button's easy to click. You can go to this grab tool. Sometimes these charts get away from you. It's really annoying, but at least with the grab tool you can do what you want. So now that we got that on there, you can see how it's working and how on CLNN today this strategy is usable. So you want the green line, that 10 moving average, to be over the purple line on the 5-minute chart. Most of the time I don't make trades on the 5-minute chart if the 200 is way up here, because this is the 200-day moving average. That usually means bearish. It means the stock will continue to sell off, which it did, but it did get a pop before it had to sell off. But you can see right here, the green line crossed over the purple line, and when that happened, we got a very nice pop. And the gray line is about the same as the green. Remember, this is the green is the exponential 10-day, the gray is the adaptive 10-day. Now you can see what I'm talking about. As the adaptive, the gray one rides right across the bottoms of the bodies of the candle. The green one kind of rides across some of the bodies of the bottoms, but also some of the wicks. The gray one is going to keep you in trades longer. Like right here where it was kind of having a little bit of indecision on this candle, you would have seen that it's above that gray line, so it's very bullish when the stock price is above that gray line. Basically, this whole strategy is buying the crossover, this green EMA crossing over the purple one, and then holding up till the price of the stock is quite a ways away from the green line. So you can see once it ripped away up here to 1371, that green line was right there. So it had to pull back. Your green line is going to be like a magnet. Anytime the price goes off of that green line, it's going to pull back. And if it goes below it, the purple line can also act as support like the green line. But if that one doesn't hold and the green line crosses to the downside of the purple, you got to get out, because once the green line is below the purple line, as you can see, you will get a nasty sell-off. Now, of course, you still want to apply looking at the time and sales and level 2 and volume, so that way you can see when those resistance lines might be breaking when you're coming to them, or if support lines might be cracking. But other than that, you don't really need much, and you don't really need to know exactly what these lines are. You just need to know that when the green one is over the purple one, you're going to have better odds of getting a run. And when the price is over the gray one, and you can ride that momentum until the price jumps back below the gray line. Now when you're buying, you either want to buy at a crossover like this, or you can try to buy at a bounce off of support of the green line. So far, buying bounces off support of the purple line hasn't worked out too much, but still a lot of testing to do with this strategy. And I think for the one thing that it does, the crossover buy right here, that is the most powerful way to use this strategy and make nice profits. So I've been kind of experimenting the last couple of days, and the last 2 days I actually didn't have the 200 moving average on there. I like to keep that on there because when these other, the purple, the green, and the gray are above the 200 moving average, the runs can usually be a lot longer. So we've got this pretty much set up how we want it, except for the sell button. So let's get into that. And we'll click this so we can see what we got here too. We want to change these buttons. I put my sell button on the other side, so I'm going to put it down at the bottom. I don't use flatten, I don't use reverse, and I don't use cancel. And there's not a whole lot of choices that you have here, but what I use is quantity with buttons, and we're going to get quantity with buttons between the buy and the sell. And then I'm adding the sell ask, and then I'm going to add buy bid up here with the buy. So you want to have buy market, buy bid, quantity of the button, sell market, sell ask, right? And then we do want auto send on there and the order template editor. So we'll press OK. And now you can see we've got this nice setup here where we can pop our quantities real quick. And then we can just hit buy to buy a market, sell to sell a market, join the bid and join the ask. Those are going to trigger limit orders to put you whatever the price of the ask is or the bid. So if you join the bid on this stock particularly right now, you'd be joining it at 980. And if you try to sell on the ask, you would be selling at 1020. But they're limit orders, so it doesn't guarantee you will get filled. I use those to try to get a little bit better entries, sometimes also to get better exits to pull a little more profit, but mainly I use these market orders to jump in and out very quickly. But make sure your auto send is on when you are ready to trade, because you don't want to have any problems there. So we pretty much got this set up. So we're going to make this bottom chart look like this top chart. So I go to style, and we're going to save this style. And we're just going to call it video test chart. And then you want to make sure you click include patterns and studies and then save. Now we'll go back down here, and we're going to style again, and we'll go to load style, and then go to video test chart, and boom, we've got the exact same chart. None of the stuff behind it, volume's already colored and where it's supposed to be. But because it's a daily chart, this is the time frame I use. I use a 1 year, 1 day, so 1Y, 1D. I don't use the same EMAs up here that I do down here, other than the 200 and the green line, which is the 10 EMAs. So I'm going to remove these two. And I'm probably going to experiment with these as well on daily charts, and for sure on a 4-hour chart for swing trading, because I think I can find something that works pretty well on both of those charts for that. But I am going to add another study in here because I got the 10 and the 200, and I want the 50-day exponential moving average. So we go here the same way, turn it to 50, and then I like mine to be a dark blue, so I'm going to go here and change it to a dark blue. And bam, there we got it. I used to put the 100-day moving average on my daily chart, but I'm finding as I've been using it, it really doesn't matter that much because you've got the 50 and you got the 200. Sometimes the 100 holds up as support and resistance, sometimes it doesn't. But for this specific day trading strategy, you don't even need it because all you're doing is just looking for the green line to get across the purple line. It's as simple as that. And then you want to sell when you're way off the green line. But this is the setup. That's all you got to do to set it up like this. Now once you're done, go back up here to the little square place where we got the customized grid, and you can save your grid, and you can see I saved it as video setup. So that way if you do come in and it's not the right chart, you can always go and load it back. So once you come into your scanners, if you haven't set anything up, you'll have some type of little basic thing like this. Now my NYSE and NASDAQ scanners are actually customized from the original ones. So up here in the top right corner, if you come right over here, there's 3 little boxes again, each one of 3 lines and 3 dots. You want to click the second one, the one that is in the middle, and then you want to go to load scan query, and you can see there's a top 10 right here. We're going to go to top 10 NASDAQ. So you can see it gives us a little bit of what's going on, but the last price is at $2 and the volume's at 5,000. So you're not going to have a very good list if you're looking at stocks with only 5,000 in volume. So I always set my volume to at least 500,000. And I trade stocks between $1 and normally somewhere around $20. So I'm just going to put in 50 just so we can get a nice range. Now right here we've got it show 10 stocks, and because this is over here on the side, I don't want a lot of stocks popping up. I only want 10, so I keep it at 10, and then you see sorted by percent change. But there's one more thing we got to add in here, and this is where my customization comes in to find the specific stocks that we are looking for. Right here you can see add filter. You'll click add filter. We're going to go to stock. You can see we get this nonsense here. And then we're going to go down to shares. So there's the shares. And I'm not trading any stocks over, we'll go with 300 million. And then if you hit scan, you can see this is the same list here as the list I've got over here on the side. You can save this. You go back to where you loaded it, hit save scan query, and you can get that right there. Now, you're going to do the exact same thing to the NYSE. So we're going to load top 10, NYSE. We get the same exact thing. So I'm going to put $1 and then 50, 500,000 for the volume. And then we're going to go to add filter. We're going to add that stock and then add in shares. And we're going to put that 300 million. And then we hit scan. You can see that is the same list that I have over here. So those are those 2 scanners over here, and I usually sort them by percent change or volume if I'm wanting to see which ones are getting the most volume. But you can see it gives you a nice list of those stocks in the price range we want and the ones with the float we want. So I don't even have to scan in the morning because I have these on the side already. When I come in to trade, these are already going to be ready to go. Now I do have another custom scan, 2 custom scanners actually, but I still need to do some tweaking to them, so I'll share those later when I get those straightened out. But for now, they're not really that important because I'm using these anyway. But that's it. That's the new strategy. This is the new setup. Check it out. Try it out. Let me know if you like this one better or the old one better. And I am going to continue to tweak this strategy a little bit more. And soon I will start trying to customize a strategy for the 4-hour and the daily chart for swing trading. So, appreciate everybody joining me as always. Stay safe out there. Until next time.